Hey, and welcome back to Tennessee Whiskey Shaving with me, Wes. Today is Friday, and that means that it's Phenomenal Fragrance Friday. And I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite scents from Stirling today, and that is going to be Varen. Varen is very awesome. I love Varen, but it can be a polarizing scent. And if you guys will bear with me, I've worked pretty hard on this presentation. I made a lot of notes, and I tried to be as thorough as possible. So I know a lot of times scents can be a very personal thing, a very discerning thing. So I'm trying to be thorough for you guys. Now, I know this may not be a scent that everybody's gonna like, so I'm gonna get to it because me personally, I like it. I like more woody scents. I like fougères. I'm not a gourmand person. I do like some gourmands, like Vanulet, like Jack's. They did Jack's. I like that. That was very good. I tend to like, I would like more caramelly things. I don't like chocolate. I don't like bananas. Of course, I just did, my review for Pineapple Under the Sea, and I was worried that that was going to be gourmand, but it most definitely is not a gourmand. So yeah, I like barbershop. I like bay rum. I like fougere. I like woodsy scents, to wear. So I also like, don't get me wrong, I do like, light and aromatic stuffs, because like Garden of the Valley, I like that. Even the new Aqua DG that came out, my shave of the day, I shaved today with 1988, and that's just, kind of like a hodgepodge of the famous, or all the best colognes or whatever, the best selling colognes from the 80s. So anyway, enough about what I like. Well, actually, this is all about what I like, right? That's why I talk about it. But today we're going to be focusing on Stirling's Varen. So yeah, let's give it a little spritz here. This stuff is powerful, guys. If there's one word that I could use to describe it, it would be, powerful. I'm going to give you more. Don't worry, I'm going to use more than one word. I might use two, maybe three if you're lucky. But it's powerful, it's masculine, it's woodsy, it's grassy. When you smell it, it just smells like, there is kind of a dankness to it. There's it does. It smells like a forest, like when you're walking through a forest. It does a very good job of that. There's a lot of oak moss in Varen, I believe. At least I pick up a lot of it, like the oak moss and the lichen. There's so many notes to this. It's a very, very complex scent. So here we go. Let me go off, and we'll start off from the get-go from this. All right. So Stirling's Varen stands as a noteworthy creation in the fragrance landscape. Its development and conceptual underpinnings provide essential context for understanding its distinctive scent profile. It took 2 years for Stirling to make Varen, and in this extended period of development, it suggests a meticulous approach to its creation, aiming for a fragrance with a distinct and well-considered character. The origin of Varen is particularly unique, as it was originally made for a Dutch wet shaving forum. This genesis points towards a scent profile potentially crafted for a discerning audience of enthusiasts or individuals who might appreciate a more complex or assertive fragrance compared to those designed for broad mainstream appeal. Now, the name itself, Varen, if you did not know, means that it means fern in Dutch. So yeah. So Varen is Dutch for fern, which this should immediately signal to you that the fragrance is what its intended direction is, firmly planting it within the Fougere family. Now, while the word Varen may have other meanings in other languages, like gifts, like Varen, I believe means gifts in Indian, or superior in French. But this one is, for the Dutch. So it means fern. The development of a fragrance for a niche community, which is a dedicated wet shaving forum, often allows for greater creative freedom. Such groups may possess a palette for scents that are more adventurous, robust, or even challenging than what is typically found in mass market offerings. The powerful nature of Varen, along with some of the other notes pointing to a more dank or intense characteristic, it aligns with the notion of a fragrance that prioritizes a memorable and distinct olfactory experience over immediate universal appeal. The background helps to frame Varen, this background helps to frame Varen as a scent that was perhaps designed to be a characterful and bold, in which turn may contribute to its somewhat polarizing reception among a wider audience. Like I said, it may not be for everybody. So Varen would be officially classified as a natural fougere. A grasp of this fragrance category is fundamental to appreciate the architectural design of Varen's scent. The term fougere, which is French for fern, denotes a significant and historic fragrance family. Fougere compositions traditionally aim to evoke the aroma of fresh ferns in the forest, creating a scent or a fragrance impression of verdant, damp woodland. Key characteristics define the fougere family. Typically, these fragrances are built upon a woody base and are known for being grassy, green, and fresh. Many fougeres incorporate citrusy top notes, such as bergamot or grapefruit, to impart a zesty initial impression. The heart of a fougere is often herbaceous, featuring notes like lavender and sage, which contribute to its green and aromatic qualities. The cornerstone of a classic fougere structure is the inclusion of mossy elements, with oak moss being a historically crucial component through its use is now often restricted or synthetically replicated. So the designation of Varen as a natural fougere would suggest an adherence to the core tenets and perhaps the traditional raw materials of this genre. The prominent listing of oak moss, lavender, and coumarin, which is a synthetic compound with a sweet hay-like aroma that is vital to the original Fougere Royale from 1882. This scent established the category and positions Varen firmly within the classic Fougere and a classic oak moss fragrance. This further lends credence to its interpretation. Therefore, Varen appears to be not merely a vaguely fern-like scent, but a deliberate and robust interpretation of a classic fragrance structure. This commitment to a traditional form likely contributes to its powerful character and its appeal to individuals who appreciate the heritage of perfumery. The natural descriptor might also imply a more raw, less polished scent profile experience compared to many contemporary fougeres that more heavily rely on synthetic offerings. So let's see here. So the scent notes for Varen, it has oak moss, which gives it a deeply earthy, woody, slightly sweet and mossy foundation, and it's a foundational element in classic fougeres, providing depth, tenacity, and a characteristic forest floor aroma, and its prominence is a key part in Varen. It's got lavender. It provides an aromatic, herbaceous, slightly sweet and floral scent with clean, fresh facets. A quintessential note in fougeres, and it contributes to the fern-like accord and adding an element of classic barbershop freshness. Coumarin is in here, and it's often derived from tonka beans. It has a sweet hay-like, almondy, and almost a tobacco-like aroma. Crucial for the traditional fougere accord, adding warmth, sweetness, and complexity. And it has vetiver, earthy. It's earthy, woody, smoky, sometimes grassy or leathery, and it adds grounding depth and a rugged, natural feel, enhancing the woodland character of Varen. Next up is sage. It provides an aromatic and herbaceous, slightly peppery and camphorous scent. It contributes a green and slightly sharp and invigorating note, enhancing the natural and herbaceous aspects of the fougere. Next up is me. I'm going to take a break and take a drink. Negroni. If you never had one, look it up. It's good. All right, so next up is one of my favorite components of a fragrance, cedar. Cedar is dry, woody, slightly sweet, reminiscent of pencil shavings. It provides a solid, woody backbone and enhances the forest-like imagery. Next up is lichen, an unusual note, often having a earthy, mineralic, slightly damp and mossy aroma, similar to oak moss, but potentially with unique facets. Now, its inclusion alongside of oak moss it suggests that it intensifies the mossy forest-like character, and it kind of gives you that old growth kind of scent. You know, like when you're walking through a forest and it just kind of smells like, like old but good. The lichen will do that. And then last but not least, we got geranium. This is a rosy green, slightly citrusy scent, and it is also minty. It's often used to bridge floral and green notes, and it adds a touch of brightness and complexity, and it complements the lavender in the fougere structure very, very well. So the specific combination of these notes appear to be designed to create a highly realistic and immersive natural scent, moving beyond an abstract interpretation of fern. The dual presence of oak moss and lichen points to a deliberate amplification of the damp forest floor scent to it, or the old growth aspect, of being in the woods. Vetiver and cedar contribute to the structural woody elements, akin to trees, while lavender and sage and geranium represent the subtle sweetness, the herbaceous and green undergrowth, providing aromatic foliage. Coumarin introduces a layer of subtle sweetness, reminiscent of decaying leaves or dried hay, completing the immersive tableau. What's the word I'm looking for here? Landscape? Scent structure? Scent profile? There we go. And now this synergistic effect creates a unique forest ecosystem and the sensation of rolling in a pile of ferns in a bog. Varen just does a really good job of making you feel like you're in a forest. Now, let's see here. Some of this stuff I wrote down, I wonder if I can kind of skip it, but we'll see. So this is a powerful blend, and it's consistently employed by Stirling when you characterize Varen. It indicates that the selected notes are not merely present, but are dosed and balanced in such a way as to create a strong, assertive, and impactful fragrance. The classic fougere accord traditionally hinges on the interplay between aromatic lavender and earthy and somewhat bitter oak moss, and the sweet hay-like qualities of coumarin. Varen builds substantially upon this foundation triad by incorporating additional woody notes like cedar and vetiver, further green and herbaceous elements like sage and geranium, and an intensified mossy character through the inclusion of lichen. The power attributed to Varen likely stems from both the inherent robustness of its chosen components and a compositional approach that may lean towards natural, concentrated ingredients. So the sheer number of traditionally strong notes like oak moss, vetiver, cedar, and sage, that really, that makes it makes a bold fragrance. So, and this is usually, so I looked up some stuff, on what people say about Varen online. And these are the dominant traits or scent notes or themes that pop up that people talk about. They say it's powerful, strongly scented. And it is a very powerful, it is strong. That little spritz that I put on my hand there, I can smell it like with my hand down here. If I start going like this, I can smell it up here. It'll waft up. It is a powerful scent. People also use the word earthy, woody, green, mossy, fern. So it is just like I've been saying. It is a natural fougere. That's what it is. Others have described it as oak moss balm, so, and it's powerful with the oak moss. The oak moss is strong with this one. And there is also some people that they compare it to a dark or danky scent, or a dark dank scent, and some others will describe it as a bright clean scent. I could see it in both ways. You know what I mean? Like, I could smell the dark dankiness of it, and then I can also pick up the bright clean notes of it. And that's what leads, that's what leads to its complexity. It can go either way. Some have described it as sweet and spicy, or and on the other end of that, others have described it as dry and herbal. So again, it can go either way. So Varen, it's a fragrance that rarely elicits indifference. It's one of those fragrances, you either like it or you don't. You love it or you hate it. I don't know too many people that say, man, it's okay. You either like it or you don't. Let's see here. What else do we got? I'm looking over all my notes. I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget anything. Like I said, I worked very hard on this. All right, so we'll just go for practical considerations. How are you going to use this? And that's really going to be up to you. It's a strong scent, and it has great longevity. You put this on in the morning when you get home from work, or if you go to work, when you get home, you're still going to smell like it. Would it be a date night scent? Maybe not. If you're married and you have your wife available to say, yay or nay on it, then, if she's down for it, then, it could be a good date night scent. Or if you're going to take your date, for a hike in the forest, it'd be perfect for that. But for me, I don't know. For me, this is just kind of like an anytime scent. I could put it on and just wear it whenever. I like it that much. I'll get compliments from here and there, and I'll get some people, that like my kids will be like, "You smell like grass," or something like that, But there's so much more to it than just that. There's more to it than the oak moss and the lichen and the vetiver. There's so much more to it. It is such a complex scent. If you sit down and you break it down and give it a good whiff, and you can just, and you close your eyes and you can picture it, you know, it'll take you there. It'll take you to the forest. It'll make you feel like a kid again, you know, running around in a forest playing hide and go seek or something like that. At least that's what it does, you know, for me. So on that note, guys, again, we got Varen, and I like it. Maybe you will too. Give it a try. I'd say, you know, get a sample maybe if you can, you know, but the EDT, and this is an EDT as well, and you know, and it's super strong. I wonder what it'd be like if it was an EDP, man. But it is good. If you want a good, powerful, masculine scent, you know, if you want to smell like the hills of Scotland or something like that, you know, this is kind of like what you would put on. You know, you want to go golf, you want to put on, you know, your driver's cap, you know, with the high knee socks, and, you know, look like you're a Scottish golfer and all that good stuff. This would be your choice. That would be a good choice. So, all right, fellas, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I just wanted to give you guys a good, thorough review. I hope you guys like this. You know, I know scents. A lot of people don't know fragrances. I don't either. I'm still learning. So that's why I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to do these write-ups and stuff for you guys. So it really does. It helps me learn the fragrances, and when I put my nose on them and stuff, you know, I can really pick them apart, and I'm starting to learn. So, and that's cool. I like that. So anyway, guys, yeah. As always, the wet shaving community is the best community. Be happy, be positive, and happy shaves and happy sprays. All right, I'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Bye.